Some truths are hidden in plain sight, yet most never notice them. For centuries, humans have chased success, believing it is the key to favor from God, the universe, or forces beyond comprehension. But history whispers a different story. In ancient Shaolin halls, monks who achieved nothing in the eyes of the world were sometimes the ones most aligned with divine energy. Their power did not come from wealth, titles, or victories. It came from inner mastery, from the quiet discipline of heart and mind. Today, you will uncover why true favor is never a reward for achievement, but a response to alignment. You will learn how subtle shifts in your awareness, small acts of integrity, and the cultivation of inner stillness can awaken a force that no worldly success can command. You will discover ancient principles practiced in silence for centuries, teachings that even the most ambitious overlook in their relentless pursuit of recognition. By the end of this video, you will see clearly why your inner state matters far more than your outward accomplishments. You will understand the secret that has guided the chosen ones across generations, how presence, sincerity, courage, and compassion create a resonance that draws divine attention naturally. Welcome to Shaolin Soulfire. Here, we explore wisdom that has shaped legends and uncovered truths often lost to time. If your soul seeks depth, if your mind craves clarity, and if your spirit is ready to awaken, stay with us until the very end. Subscribe now and walk this path of mastery together, step by step, breath by breath, toward the alignment that truly matters. There is a world that moves silently beneath the noise of daily life, a rhythm that reveals itself only to those who truly stop and listen. In the ancient halls of Shaolin, monks would sit for hours, not moving, not thinking, yet fully alive to the breath, the shifting light, the faintest whisper of the wind. This is the power of presence, a force far more potent than any accomplishment or title. When the mind is scattered, when attention chases yesterday's regrets or tomorrow's ambitions, the soul becomes deaf to the subtle currents of guidance that surround it. But the moment awareness anchors in the now, something shifts. Opportunities appear not as chance, but as invitations. Intuition rises quietly, almost unnoticed, showing the path that intellect alone cannot perceive. In this stillness, the universe speaks, and the chosen ones learn to listen. Presence is not about forcing control over the mind or mastering tasks faster. It is about letting the mind settle like water in a deep vessel until reflections become clear and movement becomes deliberate. A monk sweeping the temple floor, a student practicing a single form, each action performed with undivided attention becomes a meditation, a conversation with life itself. The energy cultivated in these moments resonates beyond the body. It draws alignment, focus, and favor that no worldly effort can replicate. The modern world glorifies productivity, but the Shaolin way teaches that significance is measured differently. Productivity can create noise, presence creates resonance. Presence transforms ordinary moments into gateways, ordinary actions into sacred practice. Every breath, every heartbeat, every subtle choice carries weight when attended to fully. Those who cultivate this depth of mindfulness become magnets, not for fleeting success, but for clarity, insight, and the quiet currents of power that shape destiny itself. There are deeds performed under the gaze of the world, and there are deeds carried silently in the depths of the heart. In Shaolin tradition, the greatest masters were often unseen, their actions unnoticed by society, yet their presence carried a weight far beyond recognition. True devotion, they taught, is not measured by applause or trophies, but by the sincerity with which it is offered. Ego-driven efforts shine briefly, like sparks in the night, but they vanish as quickly as they appear. A mind chasing approval, a hand moving for praise, creates motion without essence. The energy behind such acts is thin, unable to ripple through the unseen layers of life that respond only to authenticity. In contrast, even the smallest act done with pure intention carries profound force, shaping both self and circumstance in ways invisible yet enduring. In the quiet discipline of practice, whether through meditation, ritual, or mindful work, the heart learns to recognize what is genuine. A monk bowing to the altar, a student perfecting a stance, a seeker speaking only when truth demands. These acts are fueled not by desire to impress, but by devotion to alignment and understanding. Over time, this sincerity forms a current that touches everything around it, drawing guidance, clarity, and subtle favor. Ancient wisdom insists that mastery begins not with outward skill, but with the cultivation of inner integrity. When intention is pure, even simple gestures become profound, and the spirit grows resilient and luminous. Authenticity becomes a language the universe understands, a vibration that resonates beyond circumstance. By letting go of performance and ego, one opens to a depth of energy that achievement alone cannot summon, a quiet, steady force that defines the path of the truly chosen. In the early hours before the world stirs, the temple bell calls the monks to begin their day. Each movement, each repetition is not a display, but a conversation with the self. Discipline, in the Shaolin way, is never a prize to be shown. It is a path walked quietly, step by step, breath by breath. The value lies not in the applause of others, but in the transformation that occurs deep within. Every ritual, no matter how simple, carries hidden power. Sweeping the courtyard, striking the wooden dummy, or bowing in meditation, these acts, repeated with patience and intention, form a subtle current of energy that shapes mind and body. Over time, this current strengthens the spirit, teaching resilience, focus, and humility. The universe responds not to grand gestures, but to the steady rhythm of consistent practice, the silent refinement of character. Ancient masters understood that consistency outweighs spectacle. A single flawless demonstration may impress, but a lifetime of quiet discipline leaves a mark invisible to the eye yet undeniable in its effects. Each day's effort compounds, building an inner fortress of strength, awareness, and alignment. Through these humble practices, the practitioner cultivates an invisible magnetism, a harmony that draws guidance, protection, and favor far beyond what external achievement could ever command. Discipline becomes a mirror, reflecting both weaknesses and hidden potential. It humbles the ego while sharpening resolve. Those who persist, who honor the path without seeking recognition, discover that mastery is not a destination but a living process. The quiet repetition, the unwavering attention, and the willingness to commit, even when unnoticed, lay the foundation for a power that is both enduring and profound. In this way, discipline is not a reward to be earned. It is the path itself, guiding the spirit toward alignment with the deeper currents of life. In the quiet of dawn, before the first light touches the temple roof, the world seems suspended between heartbeats. Here, in stillness, the unseen reveals itself. Shaolin masters teach that silence is not emptiness, but a doorway. When words fade and the mind softens, patterns and truths that are always present become clear. Subtle guidance, hidden opportunities, the gentle currents of life that most overlook. Stillness is not merely the absence of movement, it is the presence of awareness. In silence, the heart learns to listen, not to thoughts, but to deeper wisdom. The body relaxes, the breath slows, and a bridge forms between the self and the flow of the universe. Daily pauses of reflection, mindful breathing, or seated meditation become spiritual tuning, aligning energy and intention in ways that action alone cannot achieve. Each session, no matter how brief, is a conversation with the eternal, a chance to calibrate the mind, body, and spirit to the natural rhythm of life. Ancient teachings remind us that life moves swiftly, yet guidance often comes quietly. A moment of stillness can illuminate paths unseen, reveal decisions that serve rather than hinder, and awaken insight beyond ordinary perception. Even the humblest task, performed after time spent in reflection, carries clarity, precision, and subtle power. Those who embrace silence discover a discipline that transcends routine. They cultivate patience, sharpen perception, and attune themselves to what truly matters. The mind no longer chases distractions, and the heart learns the language of truth. Through stillness, one does not escape the world, but enters it fully, with presence, awareness, and readiness. In the gentle quiet, life's guidance becomes audible, and alignment with higher wisdom flows naturally. like water finding its path through stone. In the gardens of the temple, monks plant seeds with steady hands, yet they do not linger on what the harvest will bring. Shaolin wisdom teaches that the fruit of labor is never truly ours to claim. The act itself, carried with presence and devotion, holds far more weight than any outcome. Attachment to results binds the mind, disturbs the heart, and dims the quiet power that comes from focused effort. When actions are fueled by obsession over approval or success, energy fractures. The mind rushes ahead, imagining praise or reward, while the body moves through ritual without depth. The universe, however, responds to sincerity and attention, not expectation. A task performed with love, patience, and complete engagement resonates beyond the visible. It aligns with forces that reward alignment rather than accomplishment. The difference is subtle but profound, like the contrast between a river flowing freely and one trapped behind a dam. Ancient masters practiced this lesson daily. A student polishing the floor or striking the wooden dummy does so not to impress, but to refine self-discipline, focus, and understanding. Each movement becomes a meditation, each repetition a reflection of commitment rather than a step toward recognition. Through letting go of outcome, the practitioner discovers freedom, the mind is calm, the heart open, and the spirit unburdened. Detachment does not mean apathy. It is a disciplined choice to channel energy into the present, trusting that the forces of life respond naturally to genuine effort. The chosen ones learn that mastery is cultivated in the doing, not in the results. When love and focus guide every action, success, if it comes, is a reflection of alignment, not a measure of worth. In letting go, one becomes whole, attuned and capable of receiving the subtle currents of favor that attachment alone can never summon. In the quiet of training halls, a monk faces no visible enemy, yet the fiercest battles are fought within. Shaolin philosophy teaches that true mastery begins not with defeating others, but with confronting the shadows that dwell in the heart: fear, doubt, and the restless desires of ego. These are the battles unseen, yet they shape every choice, every action, and every breath. Courage is not the absence of fear, but the willingness to meet it directly. The student who hesitates before a difficult form, who confronts discomfort in silence, who observes anger or pride without surrendering to it, is practicing a discipline far greater than any outward victory. The internal struggle, this wrestling with self, refines character, sharpens perception, and cultivates a quiet strength that radiates naturally. It is a mastery that cannot be measured by medals or applause, yet it shapes destiny more profoundly than any external triumph. Facing the shadow self requires honesty and patience. Ego-driven desires often disguise themselves as ambition or necessity, yet when examined with mindfulness, they reveal fears that have long guided behavior. The practitioner learns to recognize these impulses without judgment, to move through them with awareness, and to redirect energy toward alignment and purpose. In this process, courage becomes a magnet. Guidance appears in subtle forms: intuition, opportunity, the right words or actions at the right time, offered not because of worldly success, but because the heart has demonstrated readiness. Ancient wisdom reminds us that the internal battlefield is lifelong. Each encounter with doubt or fear strengthens resilience, humility, and clarity. Those who embrace this path discover that the greatest victories are invisible, yet they shape every visible moment. Strength emerges quietly, not as noise, but as a presence that commands respect, draws guidance, and aligns life with the deeper currents that flow beyond ordinary perception. In the quiet moments of the monastery, a simple act of kindness carries weight far beyond its appearance. Shaolin teachings reveal that compassion is not a weakness, but a profound form of power. When the heart moves with genuine care, it generates an energy that surpasses skill, fame, or achievement, a force that quietly influences everything it touches. Masters observe that actions guided by kindness resonate like ripples across still water. A word spoken with sincerity, a hand extended in service, or a gesture made without expectation can awaken awareness in others and subtly shift the flow of circumstances. This energy does not demand attention. It flows naturally, aligning life in ways the mind cannot calculate. The practice of compassion becomes a discipline, a training of the heart as deliberate as any physical regimen. In Shaolin philosophy, personal mastery is incomplete without the cultivation of this internal resonance. A warrior may strike with precision, yet without a heart rooted in care, the energy behind the action is shallow. True influence arises when intention is aligned with benevolence. The chosen ones understand that service and empathy are not burdens, but channels through which inner strength manifests and multiplies. Even in small daily tasks, compassion transforms the ordinary into profound. Feeding a stranger, listening without judgment, or offering patience where impatience could prevail. Each act strengthens inner alignment and amplifies personal energy. The heart's resonance becomes magnetic, attracting guidance, opportunities, and harmony naturally. The quiet power of compassion is enduring because it works beyond the ego. It teaches humility while extending influence. By aligning actions with care, one becomes a conduit for a force that shapes life subtly yet irrevocably. In this way, the heart becomes both a sanctuary and a source of unseen authority, a living testament to the ancient truth that kindness, when disciplined and sincere, is one of the greatest powers a person can wield. In the quiet rhythm of the day, the smallest actions often carry the greatest weight. Shaolin masters have long taught that true power is cultivated not through grand gestures, but through consistent, humble practice. Each breath taken with awareness, each deliberate movement, each moment of gratitude becomes a thread in the fabric of inner mastery, weaving strength that is invisible yet undeniable. Rituals are more than routines. They are invitations to alignment. A monk rising before dawn to bow in meditation, a student performing forms with focused attention, or a seeker pausing to acknowledge life's gifts, all convey devotion, discipline, and readiness. These repeated, simple acts communicate to the universe a heart that is present, engaged, and sincere. Over time, they compound, creating a current of energy that shapes mind, body, and spirit. Ancient wisdom emphasizes that consistency is a language the unseen responds to. One day of effort may be unnoticed, yet the dedication shown over months or years forms a resonance that attracts guidance, opportunity, and clarity. The universe or divine forces do not measure by spectacle or quantity, but by the depth of intention and the patience of the practitioner. Even ordinary moments hold spiritual potential when approached with mindfulness. Washing hands, lighting incense, or walking with deliberate steps, each can be transformed into practice when performed with awareness and care. These small rituals reinforce self-discipline, strengthen presence, and cultivate a quiet authority born of alignment rather than ambition. In this way, devotion is measured not by what is achieved, but by the constancy and sincerity of effort. Through repetition, humility, and mindful attention, the chosen ones cultivate an inner force that cannot be rushed or fabricated. The seemingly ordinary becomes sacred, and every small act performed with purpose carries a spiritual weight that shapes destiny and opens the channels of guidance far beyond the visible world. In the quiet corridors of the temple, a student moves through forms with measured breath, not seeking recognition, not counting repetitions. The masters watch silently, knowing that the true measure of mastery is not in the doing, but in the being. Alignment begins within. It is the harmony of mind, body, and spirit. From this inner state, every action flows naturally, effortlessly, carrying a force that no external achievement can match. Shaolin wisdom teaches that success is rarely a cause, it is a consequence. When the heart is steady, the mind clear, and intention sincere, the world responds in kind. Circumstances shift, opportunities appear, and blessings arrive quietly, as if drawn by the invisible resonance of a refined soul. Those who chase success without cultivating internal balance often find it fleeting, hollow, or accompanied by turmoil. Alignment, in contrast, creates a magnetism that attracts life in its fullness. Inner refinement is not sudden, it is cultivated through patient practice, reflection, and discipline. Each moment of stillness, each act performed with mindfulness, each encounter approached with clarity, strengthens the vessel of self. Over time, the outer world mirrors this inner harmony. A simple gesture, performed from a place of centered being, carries more impact than countless achievements performed from ego or urgency. This alchemy of alignment transforms existence itself. Life becomes less about striving and more about resonance, about allowing one's essence to shape experience rather than being shaped by it. The chosen ones understand that mastery begins with self, not circumstance. When being is honored over doing, when inner cultivation is prioritized over external accolades, the currents of destiny flow naturally, opportunities arise with grace, and the subtle, profound favor of the universe touches every step of the path. Life itself becomes the monastery when approached with awareness. Every moment is a chance to practice mastery, to refine the self, and to align with forces far greater than the visible world. In the teachings of Shaolin, the chosen ones are not distinguished by titles, wealth, or recognition. They are defined by how they live, moment to moment, with presence, intention, and integrity. Daily actions, no matter how ordinary, carry weight when approached with mindfulness. Preparing a meal, walking through the garden, speaking to others, each choice, thought, and movement becomes a reflection of inner readiness. The discipline cultivated in quiet practice carries into these moments, allowing courage to temper fear, compassion to guide intention, and stillness to balance action. This integration transforms life into a continuous path of alignment, where every act becomes both training and expression. Mastery is not found in extraordinary feats, but in the steady, consistent weaving together of stillness, discipline, courage, and compassion. Each quality supports the other. Stillness nurtures clarity, discipline sustains effort, courage confronts inner shadows, and compassion extends power outward. Together they form a foundation upon which the chosen ones walk, grounded yet flexible, aware yet unburdened, attentive yet free. In this way, divine favor is not a distant reward, but a natural consequence of living in harmony with one's higher self. The universe responds to alignment expressed through daily life, recognizing readiness in the patterns of thought, action, and heart. The chosen ones understand that mastery is a continuous practice, an art of being that transcends circumstance. Through consistent attention to inner cultivation, life becomes a sacred practice, and every ordinary moment carries the potential to reveal extraordinary resonance, guidance, and unseen favor. The greatest truths are often quiet, subtle, and unseen. Divine favor does not chase success, titles, or wealth. It responds to presence, integrity, and actions aligned with the heart. Mastery is not a spectacle. It is cultivated patiently, day by day, through small, sincere choices that refine the mind, body, and spirit. Take a moment today to reflect: are your thoughts, words, and actions aligned with your highest self? The path of the chosen one is not measured by what the world applauds, but by who you are becoming inwardly. Each decision, each breath, each act of discipline or compassion brings you closer to that quiet power that guides life with clarity and grace. As you move through your day, carry this awareness with you. Let stillness, courage, and sincerity shape your actions. Notice how alignment transforms even the ordinary into a sacred practice. The journey of mastery is continuous, subtle, and deeply rewarding. Thank you for walking this path with us today. If this message resonates, join our community of seekers and practitioners. Like, subscribe, and stay connected with Shaolin Soulfire. Let us continue exploring ancient wisdom, personal mastery, and the quiet power that comes from living aligned with your true self. Peace and clarity be with you on every step of your journey.